Well, we've jumped into our second attempt at the beta, and we got a little bit further this time, playing the Necromancer, which is overly overpowered, to be completely honest, guys. I struggled with my Barbarian, I'm not gonna lie, but with the Necromancer class, I've had little to no issues during this open beta weekend. Now, we didn't max out. We got to like level 22 by the end of it all, so just enough to get the golem and play around before we were constantly disconnected from the servers, which was actually pretty annoying, but it is expected. But one of the things we're showcasing here is where I actually had an opportunity to take on the stronghold. It's the Kor Dragan stronghold, whatever, I don't know what it's called, but it's what we did. We had an opportunity to bust through it, figure out its mechanics, and complete it. And I will be honest, I died, and I died for what? Very little special loot by the end of it. I expected a little bit more out of it as long as it took me to clear this out solo, and it may be one of those dungeons that are easier done with a group of people, but it could be soloed with the Necromancer class quite easily, to be honest. If I was better at the game, I probably wouldn't have had any issues at all. Now, while we watch this, I will take an opportunity to tell you guys I was wrong about quite a few things to do with this game. I thought that the crafting system was really weak and didn't really find an opportunity to deal with it. We knew that there were gems. We piddled around with those. There wasn't a lot to it, but I did get to the point where I actually unlocked the extraction of, I don't know, skills on legendaries. So you break down legendaries and you can get their fixes and throw them on another legendary to empower it a little bit more or give it a different effect. Maybe it had stats that you liked on it, so you were actually able to throw that around. You can do that with some of the rare items as well. Of course, there was upgrading of your weapons, your helmets, just gear in general, including amulets. But amulets you did have to wait a little bit longer to unlock. With all that being said, it led to a much better experience this time around from the closed beta to the open beta. Just figuring things out for myself because I'm not big on researching games. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that. I don't research games. I just play them and struggle through and waste a lot of time. And I just call it the Trey way. It's the only way I know how to do it. With that being said, though, Necromancer class did show me that this game does have some flexibility and some fun. I have tried a lot of different skills. Some I love, some I hate. Some are really cool. Some really don't give the effect that you would expect at the end of the day. But still yet, it was a blast to play. I would say, I guess, one of my biggest qualms with the game is that during this closed or open beta sequence, it did feel like the game wasn't as expedient as I expected it to be. Although it's open world and there's plenty of things to do, the non-linear aspect was kind of tough for me to kind of get behind because I did find myself like, I guess I can hunt down some baddies and destroy versus trying to prolong and push through the story and, get to end game like we would on a fully developed and complete game. But we have time, I do believe that the game is going to progress in a great way. And honestly, I feel like what we're seeing isn't really true to the game's full nature by the end of the day. I think they have a lot in store for us. This is all speculation. There's probably been word about it. But like I say, I don't research anything. I just do what I do and tell you how the experience was based on me not knowing a damn thing and trying to figure it out. One other really interesting aspect was, learning that the classes have like their own aspect skills. You press Shift C and you get this subset of skills that only that class has. It's different than just having class skills. So, I was actually really appreciative of this mechanic in itself of allowing us to then again change our builds to do different things. My biggest concern with this game was the lack of build variety. I thought that we were just going to sit there and do cookie cutter builds and if it worked, great. If it didn't work, well, let's go to the one that works and we'll just keep doing the same thing over and over. But I have found that right now, I have found that there are a lot of different ways to build your character, even with the slim skill tree that they offer you. Its passives built into it. The passives are kind of what gives it the build variety. But that specialization that you get, you press Shift C and it gives you this whole specialization menu. One for the Necromancer in particular is the ability to change how your minions react. You can have minions give you certain bonuses, or you can sacrifice having those minions at all. And if you sacrifice having those minions at all, it typically gives you some type of bonus, whether it be crit chance or non-physical resistance or attack speed, things of that nature you get from not having your minions out at all. And I feel like that is one step in the proper direction to give this game a little bit more than Diablo 3 had in build variety, and being able to play around with things in a different way, in a more open world form. As we continue through this little dungeon or stronghold, whatever you'd like to call it, I did find that it had a really nifty mechanic as well. Just, destroying your little globs and then destroying your main globs and then defeating the big guy that came out of the big glob. And, you do that about 3 times before you actually see the main boss. And I promise you guys, I'm probably going to shut up here in a minute and just kind of let it play out and let you guys enjoy what you see there. But Diablo 4, I can't wait to see, what it really is come June 2nd or 6th, whichever version you chose to get. I'm a snob, so I went early access, of course. I'm not going to lie, guys. I have a lot of fun in Last Epoch. And it's kind of tough to play the beta, knowing that Last Epoch's in beta and it's in such a good form. But learning the game and understanding it, I still have a very, very long way to go. I really did enjoy this class, though. This class kind of did make it a lot more fun to play. Between this and the Barbarian, I had high hopes for what the Barbarian was going to offer, but it didn't seem like it really met my expectations. And there again, it could boil down to the fact that I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what I was looking for. And this time around, I had a better idea and a sense of, and was able to rush to a higher level and progress through the story that they were allowing you to play a bit faster. I didn't fight the world boss this time, which kind of learned my lesson. You do have to put some hours in to get prepared and kind of gear farm a little bit and level some stuff up to go fight that world boss and be successful through that process. I don't think Blizzard's done a bad job with the game. I do think it failed to meet expectations that I personally set. At no point did Blizzard reach out to me and say, hey, you're going to love this stuff that's coming out right here, and here's X, Y, and Z, and here's why. But I had these ideas that the game had, evolved a bit more than what we see. We've experienced games like Path of Exile, which gives you, ungodly amounts of build variety at the expense of, if you fail your build, you really have to figure out what the hell you're doing, and you may need to restart and make a whole new character, or spend loads and loads and loads of some type of in-game currency to try to help reset your character. I'm glad it didn't go that way. I'm glad. I'm not the type of person to map out my build 6 months in advance to a drop and then say, all right, here we go. That's not me. I do like to just jump in and play a game. I got to jump in and play the game and learn as it goes. But I wanted to see the level of gear crafting and, in Last Epoch, how crafting things worked out in that game. And, Path of Exile, how, skills worked in that game, and the ability to create some amazing cohesion between skills and leverage things off one another to do some really cool and crazy things at the end of the day. I don't think this game lacks the whole portion of. I think it has the ability to become that in a way. It just doesn't feel the same. And maybe I've spoiled myself with my hours of Path of Exile and spoiled myself with my hours of Last Epoch, or even down to the point where I've played Undecember for quite some time and loved how build variety went, just did not enjoy the in-game loop as much. This game is good. It's good. I mean, I can enjoy it. I wouldn't give it like a 10 out of 10. I mean, it looks phenomenal. It plays smooth. Combat feels good. Things feel good about the game. There's no doubt about that at all. I guess it just let me down on my own expectations of there being more, oomph in the build variety. Nevertheless, everything looks good. Everything feels good. It's just something is missing, and maybe we'll see it once the game officially launches. We'll have what we thought we were going to have. Nonetheless, guys, I'm going to be playing the hell out of this game. I'm going to be sinking hours into this game at the end of the day. Early access. June 2nd can't get here soon enough for me to play. But with all that said, I like it. I want more. I would have loved to put more time in on it. beta's on the weekends. I'm really busy on the weekends. It's a little tough for me to really enjoy it the way I wanted to. But also knowing that I wasn't going to get very far, things were limited, and I wasn't going to be able to see the end game also made me be a little less likely to play the game, you know, non-stop during this beta phase. I really just wanted to test it out, see what was good, see what was bad, see what I liked, see what I thought it was going to be, or if it was going to be something completely different. It met a lot of the little check boxes for me. I will say the difficulty of most of the content, until you get to certain things, you kind of breeze through it. One of my troubles was this boss, but I didn't quite understand his mechanic. I didn't know his attack, so I died the first time, you know, I fought him. But we were pummeling him, we were dealing a lot of damage. I could have did my build different, so I had more bodies on the ground to cast more this, that, and the other. I learned that as I played. This guy shredded me with some little blood orb attack that I could barely see on the screen, but once I figured out what was going on, you know, I was able to beat him the next time around. Yeah, fun boss fight, you know, like a little mini story. I wasn't very satisfied with the rewards that we got from this boss fight. I felt like the entirety of this mission took quite a bit to complete solo. So I expected that maybe I was going to be guaranteed something kind of nice and snazzy. That's where I died. You see me die? Yeah, sucked. It sucked. But we came back and we did it again and we were successful. Anyway, I kind of expected, you know, a few different things to occur after I beat this boss. It didn't. I don't know if that's a normal thing. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way. I don't know if it's, you know, better loot drops will happen in the future, but I just didn't get anything worthwhile. And typically you get some good stuff when you do some hard stuff in these games. All in all, Diablo 4, pretty fun in the beta. Can't wait to see what they do on official launch. Hope you guys come hanging out with me, you know, when it drops. If you have a favorite streamer, it should be me. If it's not, oh well. I still love you guys. Mad love. Watch me beat this bad guy. Adios.
Out of potions.